that. But that's not the only young guys we're going to talk about today, because everybody's favorite segment is back. It's time for Prospecting with the Welsh. That's right. Woo! We're going to be prospecting, mining the minor leagues, try to find us some prospects we want to be adding to our rosters. Let's start off with Kyle Teel, who has been red hot here to start the year. Kyle Teel, part of the Garrett Crochet trade, coming over from the Boston Red Sox. So a huge part of that deal, basically the part, the main piece. And interesting enough, I still can't believe that they got Garrett Crochet and didn't have to move Anthony Campbell or Mayer or any of those other guys. They asked us for Mike Mayer. I said yes. Welsh said no, and they ended up not taking him. So what are you going to do? At the end of the day, Kyle Teel off to a good start. The power is certainly there for this left-handed bat.
Yeah, so Teal's really interesting to throw in here when we're talking about it. It's early in the season. AAA has started. We don't even have the rest of the minor league season, but it's still, we can look at stashing prospects. And Kyle Teel is a fascinating one. 2 catcher leagues, I think you should really pay attention to him. Singular, it's something to watch for. He's been an absolute hitting machine since he's gone down to AAA. Going into yesterday, he was already hitting over 500, couple homers. And what I think is most fascinating about it, and this is a balance and a dance you have to do with prospects, is you've got to have the balance of their talent versus the potential spot for them to play in. We're going to talk about one of those guys here, maybe the most talented prospects in the game with where's his spot. Kyle Teel, though, is in a situation that, do we really think that Corey Lee and Matt Thaiss are players that can hold him down? No, I don't think so. They sent him to AAA with the potential of going to the majors. I don't think they're in a spot where you want to hold him down for extra years. I mean, anything is possible if he struggles, but I think this really big hot start, also with the White Sox winning a few games, that you're only a little bit more struggles out of a Matt Thaiss, maybe not Corey Lee, but a Matt Thaiss from Kyle Teel coming up. So the very, very first weekend of the AAA season, Kyle Teel really popped off, and he's a player that you got to keep on your mind.
All right, next up, let's talk about Bubba Chandler. Everybody's talking about him in the preseason, another one of these pitching prospects from Pittsburgh. So what's the 4-on-1 on Bubba?
So Bubba Chandler, one big thing we're going to see is he is pitching tomorrow. He is pitching on 4-1. So if you guys want to start off, it's not an April Fool's joke. Hopefully the line is also not a fool. But Bubba Chandler is going to get that first start, and I think it's going to be really, really telling to innings. I think they might build him up a tiny bit. There is a battle between him and Thomas Harrington, but I will say this, Thomas Harrington's one of the best minor league pitching prospects out there as well. Harrington seemed like the short gap they would go with him. If they're in a spot right now where we're just waiting a bit until one guy comes up, and obviously the Jared Jones scare, or maybe it works out being good, I think Bubba Chandler, when they decide to go with a main guy, is going to be at just an absolutely phenomenal big fastball. They've also given us the blueprint of pitching prospects coming up in Jones and Paul Skeens. And if the Jared Jones injury is worse than thought, I think the worst case scenario is Bubba Chandler is up in 6 weeks. I think there is a possibility that we could see him at the end of this month. This is prospects to stash and or monitor. It is very, very early, but you got to keep, if you have a top 5 list of prospects you should stash right now, Bubba Chandler should be on it. And let's pay attention to that April 1st start.
Teel, I've moved all the way up to the top of mine stashes because I just feel like, as you mentioned earlier, this pathway is so clear and potentially so quick if he continues to hit. Let's go to another prospect here. Next on our list is Nick Kurtz, Athletics first baseman. Now, not much room at the end for him, but what is about Nick Kurtz that you wanted to bring out for the people today?
So this is the toughest one. So, man, it is literally like guys in front are killing me here because Nick Kurtz, this is another one of those absolutely hot start in AAA. That's an aggressive assignment that they decided. Nick Kurtz was just drafted last year. They didn't go with even like the Christian Moore, go and throw him and, put him at AA or whatever. They threw him right at AAA. Kurtz has gone right in and started hitting. I mean, you want to put a torpedo bat in someone's hands, put it in Nick Kurtz's hands. That dude, really great contact. You're not going to fool him inside. Big, big power numbers. Legit, the only thing holding him back right now is that the guys in front of him with, I almost did the Oakland thing, with the A's, the Sacramento, is that Tyler Soderstrom is off to a really hot start. He looks really good. And they got Brent Rooker at DH. Nick Kurtz does not have position flexibility. That's a big thing that's holding him back. Also, Soderstrom does as a catcher, but you got Shea Langoliers. So I'm not 100% sure how they do that. If Soderstrom or Brent Rooker were to be hurt, I think Kurtz is up immediately. If you get a big struggle bus going on, Kurtz would be up. The problem you have here is the blockage versus the amount of minor league time. This could push into May or even June. But if you're going to do an early stash, this is what this is all about right now, about a week. Early stash, Nick Kurtz being at AAA, having that hot bat, and being the future of this team in a minor league ballpark is phenomenal. We might have to pay attention to him more later in the season, but we're looking out for Nick Kurtz right now.
Who's more blocked right now, Nick Kurtz or Roman Anthony?
I think Nick Kurtz right now. That's a great question. We're going to talk
even
about
with Yoshida potentially
yeah.
coming back at some point too. I mean, then that gets really crowded over there.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough to say because you're right. But I think Yoshida is trending on a major downward spiral. It seems like there is there's one physical move this team could make, and they could get Roman Anthony up right now, and it would be with Rafaela and moving around the outfield. But if they do love Yoshida and they don't move him or something, yeah, it does block. Both of these guys are blocked. That's the kind of sucky thing. But that's also why I'm adamant. If in this first week, if you are a speculator on prospects and pick up the biggest, best names if there is an injury or something crazy happens. And then as things start to show out a little bit more and we have higher sample sizes, then we can make more calculated, educated guesses of when guys are going to come up.
All right. I don't usually like to recommend starting pitchers on the Colorado Rockies, but Chase Dollander, clearly one with talent. So talk to me about Dollander, what you see potentially going forward for him.
I think everybody is with you. Nobody wants to do the pitching prospect in Colorado. I completely understand, but he is a very unique talent. Had his first start this weekend. It was on Sunday, went 4 innings, struck out 5, give up 6 hits, 2 walks, an earned run. Very, very good start. The 4 innings is big key. It's a multi-pitch arsenal that even he has talked about. He thinks he can get into Colorado and he can avoid losing some of those big spin numbers. He's a massively efficient college pitcher out of Tennessee. He almost made the rotation. Colorado pitchers are kind of icky, but Kyle Freeland played well out of Colorado. I think Dollander could be a pitcher that could even succeed outside of just post-Colorado starts. To me, he is a guy that you need to keep a lookout for. I think he could be up very, very soon in Colorado, and beware of your ratios and stuff like that. But Dollander and Bubba Chandler are the top 2 pitching prospects that I think have a shorter timeline. Like Andrew Painter's the number 1, but we know he will not come until the back half of the year. So I'm still in on Dollander.
There you go. Make sure you continue to follow all of Welsh's work on prospects over at FantasyPros.com and check out Prospect One, his podcast as well. And that, my friends, is the first of 2025's Prospecting with the Welsh. We love it around these parts. All right.